There's not many instances where Darth Vader looked defeated, or even was subdued, but this time the Sith Lord was going up against one of the biggest and most powerful monsters he had ever seen in his entire life. This was the Ender. They called him the Ender of Worlds, and it was around this time that Vader crashed on this planet and dealt with what was up ahead. This fight leads to Darth Vader becoming a hero instead of the usual villain that we all know and love. This boy considered him the Dark Knight, the savior of his planet and of his people. The comic starts with a lovely day in an unknown planet, but we quickly realize that these people are, for some reason, oppressed, and most of them have been wiped out. That's what we understand by listening to the thoughts of this little boy, who has an adventurous spirit, but suddenly an explosion. The above gods. He had become accustomed to seeing these explosions from before, but when we go above, now we see that this was the time of the Galactic Civil War. Rebels versus the Empire. And of course, Vader was destroying everyone in his path. However, once one of the pilots realized that was Vader, he kamikazed straight for the Dark Lord, narrowly missing him, but he did his damage. Vader's TIE Advanced was now irreparably damaged. Vader was going down to the planet, and suddenly the natives see this fireball coming down, but what's worse, it was coming down straight for the river. That will awaken the Ender. The slumber was over. Everybody is screaming and running for their tunnels, not because of Vader's craft and the Dark Lord himself, but because he had awoken the deadly Ender from his slumber. The giant monster now went straight for Vader as the kid watched on. Vader ignited his lightsaber and scorched the Ender's eye without mercy. He then pierced his skin, but it just wasn't enough. The monster hit Vader, deorientating him, and the Ender grabbed the Sith. Before he could squeeze and eat him alive, Vader force-pulled his lightsaber back and started slashing at the Ender's hand. From all that pain, Vader was just simply released as below them, the wildlife were running wild. Everything was crumbling around them. The boy was running as well, trying to now get away from the Ender, knowing that if he catches him, that will be the end. When suddenly the monster growls behind him, it was over. The Ender had caught up with the boy. The little guy pleaded with the monster to let him go as the hand was slowly approaching, but no worries. Vader, the hero of the day, was now coming. Lightsaber in hand, riding a black Gog, the Sith Lord jumped straight for the Ender and slashed at his throat. The last thing we see of this monster is him falling to his death. The boy was stunned. Out of the shadows, the dark savior revealed himself. The little boy thanked him. He was honored to be in his presence, his hero, his savior. Vader, though, raised his lightsaber. "You should not thank me, child," said the Dark Lord. Before Vader did something unspeakable, the rescue squad came down right at that moment. The child curiously asked, "What's that?" but Vader only replied with a simple answer: "It seems that the Force is with you today," as the Dark Lord of the Sith was tractor beamed straight up to the Star Destroyer, and the kid watched on. Just as his hero had come abruptly and out of nowhere, he left the same way. Afterwards, the natives were celebrating. They were finally free from the Ender. Everything was back to normal after years and decades. All thanks to this boy's hero and savior that he would never see again, Darth Vader. Now, that was a great way to start this series off. I loved this first issue, and it definitely presented Vader in a way we have never really seen him before. From the eyes of a little child, Vader was a hero of an entire planet. Can you imagine the decades of tales and legends that these guys would tell their children about the Dark Knight that came down and saved us? Yeah, I absolutely loved this issue. Talk to me down in the comments, guys. What did you guys think of it? Leave a thumbs thumbs up as well if you enjoyed this video, and hit that bell to get notified the moment a new video is out. Have an awesome day, my Star Wars friends, and may the Force be with you always.